This episode of the Blue Collar Real Estate Podcast brought to you by Stacy Mayo and the Scott Miller team at Ruoff Mortgage. Whether you're buying new or refinancing, Ruoff has a solution for you. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Blue Collar Real Estate. I'm Greg Mayo.
And I'm Ryan Herget. Greg, it's been 2 weeks since we've been on air live. What is going on, my brother?
Man, I don't even know. I just don't feel like 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. I mean, in 2020, who can tell the difference? You know what I'm saying? That's
very much the truth. Well, I'm excited because if you have not tuned into Blue Collar Real Estate, this is an episode you're going to definitely want to tune into because we are literally going to start a series about the trades industries. We're going to talk about how do you get into these different trades, and more importantly, why does it matter to you? Because there is so much opportunity in the world right now within the trades industries. I mean, Greg, let me ask you this. Can you find one good tradesman, whether they do HVAC work, roofing, electrical work, that could actually get to your house in like the next week and a half?
Dude, no.
Because they're busy as heck, right? They're literally swamped. It's nuts.
You and I both have HVAC contractors that we use, that we've known for a long time. Both of them we tried to get on for the show today.
Yeah, they were busy at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Like, they did not have time to literally join us because they're so busy right now. So we just sucked a bunch of information from their brains, and we're going to regurgitate all of that to you on this episode of Blue Collar Real Estate.
Right. And that's what we're talking about, by the way, for those of you watching, listening, whatever, is HVAC this week. And to me, it's a great place to start. It's one of the most technical trades. But as we go through the next several weeks and we talk about different trades and different opportunities, I get so confused when I hear people, especially younger people, talking about, well, I can't find a job.
Mm-hmm. There is nothing more, and I'm going to pause what you said right there. There is nothing more that pisses me off, excuse my language, than that statement right there. Because there is so much opportunity in the world right now because of what we just said. Any good trades industry person, whether you're doing roofing, HVAC work, electrical work, you're a carpenter, you name it. We're going to talk to all of these people over the next several weeks. There is so much opportunity that exists out there in the world today. It just means you have to apply yourself. You have to go learn a skill that then you can then use for the rest of your life to help people out, to solve problems that people have, in which turn you earn an income. And that's what I love about this trades industry. You know, real estate, you and I both do real estate, and that's, you know, again, very, very similar thing. But the trades, how do you help people take care of their homes?
Right.
This thing that they just invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into, how do you take care of that thing? That's where the trades industry really comes in. And that's why Greg and I are going to spend the next several weeks talking about this, because there is so much opportunity. If you are young, or whether you're looking for a career change, you can get started in any trades industry, and we're going to walk you through exactly how to do that over the next several weeks across the plethora of different trades. And today we're going to start with the HVAC.
Plethora, nice word.
I'm working on my vocabulary. I've been studying Webster's over the last several weeks.
And you're doing a great job. I use word of the day toilet paper, as everybody knows. So if you don't remember today's word by noon, dare I say you're SOL. Dare I? Is that too much? Jason, too much?
It might have been.
I'll bleep it later.
Okay, cool. So let's start with HVAC.
Yep. So for people that don't know what that stands for, what does HVAC stand for?
Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, cooling.
There you go. So that's what it means. So if you live in the continental United States, which I'm guessing most of our audience does, you are experiencing high temperatures right now, which means you need your AC to work. Or in about 3 months, most of the country is going to be freezing as crap outside, and you're going to need that heater to be working, right? Which means every single house in the country, I don't know how many there are, but I'm guessing there's millions, right?
More than 5.
There is plenty of opportunity for you to help people take care of this. And because, again, this just in. The contractors that we know, they are so busy because there are so few people in the trades industry that do 3 things magically, which is show up on time and get a little bit better every single day. And the people that we know, that's why they're busy, because they do the fundamental things so well and they know their business. So that way, when they show up at your house, you don't need to call 5 other people to feel confident that you've got the right person that's going to handle this.
And talk about recession proof.
Exactly.
If it's January in Indiana, it's 9 degrees outside, wind chill of negative 40 or whatever, and my furnace goes out. Guess what?
Somebody's going to have to come fix that.
Right.
Because you're not dealing with that. Your wife's not going to let you tolerate having a cold house for 5 years or, for the next 5 weeks. It's not going to happen. So this is truly a recession-proof industry. And yes, maybe 5 people on your block got a new HVAC system in the last 10 years, but the other 5 did not. And so there is so many systems out there that need updated, they need improved. So let's kind of dive in, Greg. What is this trade of HVAC, and like, what's it all about? What are the different opportunities that exist within this trade opportunity?
Well, let's talk about the three different, generally speaking, areas. We have residential heating and air. We have commercial heating and air, offices, strip malls, that kind of thing.
You got it.
We also have industrial and commercial refrigeration.
Yep.
Place like a Bluebell, for example, their warehouse, wherever the hell it's at, Bluebell ice cream, that's a giant refrigerator.
Well, hell, any restaurant that you walk into has a giant refrigeration unit in
Right.
it, which is the exact same trade.
But when we talk about industrial, we're talking about, you know, a 500,000 square foot refrigerator,
Right.
basically. That's a whole specialty in and of itself. So residential, we've talked about a little bit. There's residential service work, like our clients have a lot of, right?
There's been a lot of that. Being in real estate, we deal with a lot of residential service work for sure.
There's also new construction. And you know as well as I do, and it's not just this way in Indianapolis, it's this way everywhere right now. We can't build houses fast enough for the demand.
Literally to that point that you just said, I was driving on the east side of Indianapolis today. And
Sorry.
Exactly, yes. And I drove by a brand new community built by Arbor Homes. And I'm not exaggerating when I saw this because I slowed down to count. There was 13 houses being built on one street. I didn't drive through the community. On one street in this community, 13 different houses. So there is so much demand for the trades industry. So think about just a house going up. You've got carpenters, you've got framers, you've got roofers, you've got HVAC companies, you know, that we're talking about here today. There is so much opportunity that exists in the world today within the trades, which is why I feel like you and I are so excited about it, because we want to share this opportunity with other people. We want to learn these simple trades, not simple in some cases, but learn something new, develop a skill, and it's truly recession proof, like you said.
Look, I'm not decrying education. I read a
neither.
lot, you read a lot. If you want to go get a degree in underwater basket weaving or lesbian dance theory or whatever, that's cool if that's what you dig.
Yep.
But understand, you got to have something to make a living at. So my thought is, why not get into a trade, become excellent at that trade, make a good living, and then go take classes for whatever you're interested, your hobby.
Yes.
Like my hobby's woodworking, yours is racing.
Yep.
I'm not making a living making furniture right now.
And
You're
I'm damn sure spending way too much money on race car stuff. So I get that.
So get the trade, get the knowledge, make the money, set yourself up where you can have, because you know as well as I do, the biggest stressor as an adult is money. So set yourself up in a position where you can make your bills every month, where you got a little money in the bank, and then you have more time to think about other things.
Well, that's just it. So let's talk about that. If somebody wants to get into the HVAC business, Greg, let's talk about what's required to do that. Because here's what's cool about this is you don't have to go to college for 4 years in order to be able to do this work. You know, there's apprenticeship programs, et cetera. So let's kind of dive into that. Let's talk about what income opportunities look like within this industry, and then we'll, you know, kind of dive into some of the nuts and bolts of what actually goes into this and whatnot. So from an education standpoint, you know, from an HVAC perspective, what do you have to do to be able to do this?
Well, one opportunity is to go get an associate's degree.
Yep.
At technical colleges, community colleges, they offer a 2-year degree. So that's certainly one route you can go. But here's the thing. It's so unnecessary unless you just dig the idea of sitting in a classroom. And it's hands-on too, don't get me wrong. But I Googled the other day HVAC education requirements. And the first 4 things that came up were large HVAC contracting companies, HVAC companies, offering in their ad, first thing that popped up, come work for us, we will train you.
That's it.
Free apprenticeship program. And so that apprenticeship program, let's jump into that, the non-union apprenticeship program. It's 4 or 5 years, depending on who you're with. You start off, they're going to train you on the job. Some of them link up with like an Ivy Tech here locally in Indiana.
They sure do.
To where you get the classroom end of it. But it's a 4-year process where you start off, I don't know squat, let me carry that bucket for you, to at the end of that time, you're a master tech. So that's one route you can go. And the other route is an apprenticeship also, but it's a union apprenticeship, right?
So here's what I love about this, Greg, is that, you know, truly you can spend, you know, we're talking 3, 4, 5 years right now in this apprenticeship program. But here's the beautiful part of that is, unlike when you go to to a traditional school, right? Where you're paying them to learn something and then you come out with the hopes that you will get paid for what you learned, right?
Yeah.
In the trades industry, especially for what you just described right now, you're getting paid to learn, right? You're literally getting paid to go to college, theoretically. You're getting paid to learn a specific skill. And I don't know about you, but this just in, it's not going to quit getting cold and it's not going to quit getting warm anytime soon. And if it does, we all got a bigger problem.
Right.
So that being said, there's going to be ample opportunity within the HVAC world for years and years and years and years to come, because we, being here in central Indiana, we have 4 seasons here. And that thing is running. I don't know about you, but mine's running all year long, because even in the, when it's 70 degrees outside, I still want the air circulating or it gets stale inside. So that thing's running all of the time. So there's so much opportunity. And again, my knowledge base really is kind of, confined to the residential side of the HVAC business. But nevertheless, there is ample opportunity for people. And that's what I want to encourage people to consider is you don't just have to go to college to get a degree to do something. If you take the time and educate yourself, you can do something that is so impactful that you will teach yourself a skill that will literally transcend the rest of your life. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of that. But I learned roofing 10 years ago. I knew nothing about roofing 10 years ago. In fact, I remember my first day on the job at a company here in town. I went home that night literally almost in tears because I hate not knowing what I'm doing, right? And I'm Google imaging everything about this trade so I could learn what the heck are these people even talking about. Well, fast forward 2 years, now all of a sudden I know a lot. And then fast forward 10 years after I got out of the business a little bit, I was able to start my own company and immediately go to work and make money because I knew something.
Right.
I learned a skill, and that's what I'm so excited about this trades industry is because it is learning a skill. And yeah, things evolve, technology changes, but once you learn that skill, it exists in you. And you have forever got an opportunity to go out and earn a living, which is what I'm all about.
And that's the thing. It's knowledge that can't be taken from you.
Exactly.
And you can find a way. Look, I'm 12, 13 years old, right? We added onto our house. My mom GC'd it. She is not a woman to be trifled with. She general contracted the whole thing.
I recently met your mom. I would agree with that.
And she raised 3 boys. So anyway, I'm 12, 13 years old, and I'm like running coffee to the guy's frame in the addition, right? And I finally asked it. I come out there, and I got my little canvas apron on and my little 12-ounce hammer hanging, 16-ounce hammer. Anyway, well, it's an important distinction. One's for crafts, one's for actually doing stuff. But anyway, and I asked the guy, can I help? And he said, oh, sure. And he showed me how to lay out a wall. And he showed me this, and he showed me that, and he showed me that. It wasn't a few weeks later I found a show called This Old House. And I started learning. The point is, through my teens, through my early 20s, during the couple recessions that you and I both lived through, when things were tight, I could always go find work doing something.
That right there is exactly what you said that I love about this, simply because if the world ever changes, and let's say you're a real estate agent, let's say you're a mortgage lender, let's say you have some professional career, things ebb and flow there, and the good ones always do well. However, there's always an opportunity. If you know how to fix something, there's always something that needs fixed. And that's what I love about this HVAC field is because it is truly, again, a recession-proof industry. So let's kind of fast forward a little bit here. How does somebody get into this, like requirement standpoint? I know we talked about this just a few minutes ago, but is there any formal education besides, you could get an associate's degree, but what else needs to happen besides an apprenticeship, maybe getting an associate's degree to go out there and start earning a living today?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to be able to read cuneiform.
I don't know what that means. You just said a word, and I'm trying to go with you, and I'm like, I got nothing.
Just roll with it. Language of the ancient Sumerians. Anyway, first written language.
As everybody on this show already knows, I did not go to college, so.
And I'm a dropout, so here we are. Come be like us, kids. Here's the thing. Graduate from high school. If you didn't graduate, get a GED. But that's what you need, right? Either a diploma or the equivalency. And you can get a job. Now, it's stuff that we probably shouldn't have to mention, but I'm going to anyway. You need to go ahead and be drug-free.
That's important.
And as far as having a criminal record, honestly, I don't know about that. I think it probably depends on the company.
Sure.
But because at the end of the day, in some situations, you'll be in people's homes and there's stuff with that. But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, graduate from high school and go apply.
Let's talk about that real quick, though. Not just the apply part, but you mentioned possibly working for a company or possibly starting your own. And that's something that I really would like to dive into here just a little bit, is because there's so many cool things about owning your own company. But but what they don't talk about is all of the dynamics of owning a business and being a business owner.
And last episode we had Jim on.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen that one, I'm talking to you. Go back and take a look at it. Jim's a good dude, and he handles
awesome.
that. This is the business end of your business, right?
He literally handles being a coach to how to start a business and how to run your business. So what I'm talking about is, kind of a step beyond that is, how do you learn this industry? And what I would highly encourage anybody to do, if you're frustrated with what you're doing right now, you're looking for a new career path, go find a big company. Go find a big company in town, whatever town you live in right now, that does what you want to do well. So if you're looking to get into the HVAC business, go find a big company that does that really, really well, and go learn about different opportunities within that industry. And here's what I mean by that. You could go learn how to sell this stuff and not install it. You could go learn how to be an installer and not have to sell it. Depending on your personality type, there's so many opportunities that exist within that. And that's what I want to encourage people to consider is you go work for a big company. They have people already calling them, ready, needing work done. Go learn, go educate yourself with a larger company versus just saying, I want to start an HVAC business, because there's so much that you don't know when you start a business.
Well, and I'm glad we started with HVAC business, because it is probably the most technical of the building trades.
Without a doubt.
I have done everything you can do to a house. I've built them, framed them, bricked them, roofed them. I fixed brick. I mean, I haven't bricked a lot, but you know what I mean. Every possible trade I've touched with a house, except for HVAC. I don't jack with it. And if you don't believe me, the cover that you can take off your furnace, and I'm talking to you, go ahead and take that off and just take a peek at what's in there.
There's a lot of moving parts in there, but what's cool about it is once you truly understand it, I mean, I've sat down and talked to Jerry with Speedtown Comfort many, many a time. We've sat down and had a beverage and we've talked about what he does. And, it's not that it's overly complex. It's just that it's something new.
Right.
It's something that you have to learn, you have to educate yourself on, and you have to know how it works. And when you do that, once you finally know how it works, opportunities will start to present themselves.
Well, exactly right. But my point is, like my first business outside of selling gum in junior high, we'll tell that story some other time, was cleaning offices. Mm-hmm. I didn't need any specialized training to clean an office and to start that business. If I wanted to start a business tomorrow, I don't know, cleaning gutters, don't need any specialized training. HVAC, if you want to be an entrepreneur, and you and I are both all about the entrepreneurial, work for yourself, create your own destiny, that whole thing. But yeah, you're going to have to go work for somebody for 4, 5, 7, 8 years, whatever it is, so that you can truly learn the trade and become excellent. Mike from Warren Mechanical, he started off as an employee somewhere. Now he's a guy been working for himself ever since I've been using him, and is looking to hire more people and train them. He's like, dude, send me somebody that wants to show up to work. And that's the other thing. Send me someone that wants to show up to work every day and learn.
Man, that's the biggest challenge right now that people experience, is that there's not enough people that actually want to do what you just said.
Jason went to that camera when I went to get a drink.
Is just not show up and work. And that's what this is truly all about, is the HVAC work, the roofing work, all of the trades work that we're going to talk about for the next several weeks. None of it's overly hard, and all of it is going to be in demand and will continue to be in demand, because there is opportunity everywhere. They're not going to quit building houses. The population is not going down by any stretch of the imagination. There is always going to be opportunity to take care of houses, because the weather is not going to stop.
All right, so let me break a scenario for you. I go to college, which I did at one point. I just didn't like it. But so I'm going to go to college. I'm going to have to borrow money to pay for that schooling. Okay? Now that I've done that, now I've got to have some kind of part-time job to make some money to like pay for gas and food and whatever. So I get a job at, I don't know, Starbucks, McDonald's, Chili's, I don't know, whatever. I get a job. I make a couple bucks an hour. And then I do that every semester. Rinse, repeat, right? Rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. At the end of 4 years, I've borrowed money 8 times, and I barely squeak by. and I've got student loan debt, and I've got this degree, and maybe it's in business, or I don't know what it's in, but I got a degree. Mm-hmm. This is hypothetical. I don't. Just to clarify. But let's say I went and started at an HVAC company as an apprentice, and I wanted to learn the trade. Guess what the average starting wage is for an entry-level apprentice in the HVAC world?
What's the average entry-level wage? I don't know.
Great question. $15 an hour.
$15 an hour. So $15 an hour is what? I'm really bad at math, but
50 is $600 a week with no overtime, so $31,200 a year.
So that's, I don't know what the average income is in the state of Indiana or any other state, at this point, but I know that getting started at $31,200 is not a get rich income. However, it's an opportunity to like pay your bills.
Right. And so I start at $15 an hour. Now 6 months in, you meet benchmarks in an apprenticeship, right?
Of course.
So 6 months in, I'm making, I don't know what it is, 18 an hour. Then it's 20, then it's whatever. 4 years into this thing, I'm at an average base salary of over $50,000.
Base salary. So what?
And somebody trained me, and they paid me to train me.
That's what I love about this right there, is exactly what you just said, is you didn't have to go pay somebody to teach you how to do this. You got paid to learn. So it's almost like the exact 180 of what going to college is you get paid to learn how to do this. Then you have a skill that you possess, that you own, and now you can go earn a living with that forever, as long as you want. As long as you want to apply that specific skill, you have the opportunity to go earn an income with it, which is what I absolutely love about the trades industries.
And do that. And then if you want to read Voltaire or Hemingway or Faulkner or my new book, then do that for fun. But so HVAC. So and I want to talk just a little bit when we're talking about this trade, with all the green technology that's coming on, and because you're into solar now.
Yeah.
How fast this stuff's moving all of a sudden.
Super fast. I mean, it's insane.
So all the new technologies with geothermal, which is another specialty in the HVAC world. Geothermal, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Here's what I'd like to do is, HVAC is all about, how to heat, keep your house cool, warm, and ventilated. Right. So what you just said about geothermal is what I would highly encourage anybody to consider. And I'm going to tell you all a little story real quick. And that's it. I got into the roofing and solar business because I knew a lot about roofing, but I want to know a lot about solar. Solar is like my thing. It's what I love. It's what I'm super, super passionate about, but I don't know a lot about it yet.
And it has a bright future.
It has that's what I hear. Super bright, right? But what I love about it is simply this is, doing roofing allows me to start immediately earning an income while learning a new technology.
Yeah.
While learning something new and getting paid to learn that new trade. We've sold 3 solar jobs already so far, and we've done 14 roofs in the last month and a half, but we've sold 3 solar jobs, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm super honest with people about this. Like, I'm learning, but they're interested just like I'm interested in this. Same thing with HVAC is I want to encourage people, go learn about a trade, because you don't know until you actually do it if you're going to love this thing or not. So go get your hands dirty, if you will, figuratively speaking, and learn about these different trades, because the income opportunity is so insane. And here's what I want to talk about, because one of the things that you and I mentioned was, what are the income opportunities? And yes, as an employee, yes, you can make a good, strong 5-figure income relatively quickly. But as a business owner, let's say you fast forward 5 years, you've just learned all this stuff. Now you start your own business. Now you start your own trades business, and you're working on 30 to 40 to almost 50% margins into some cases. So if you sell an $8,000 HVAC system, this just in, that's $3,500 to $4,000 in profit, depending on how well you know how to sell that system and how much that person needs that system. So as a business owner, the income opportunities get exponentially huge rapidly within industries like this, because guess what? People don't know how to do their own HVAC systems. People don't know how to put their own roof on. People don't want to learn how to retexture their own drywall. They don't want to learn how to pave their own driveway. So the income opportunities within trades is astronomical if only people would take the time to learn.
And if you can afford to pay me $25 an hour, then how much are you making off my labor?
That's it.
I totally agree. And I do want to touch on geothermal for a minute, because it's so cool. Geothermal is, for those of you who don't know, it's part of the heating and cooling of a home, but it's using the heat and cool from the earth, which I think's boss. Used to be you had to have this giant pond, right, to dump the water into and to recirculate it. Now they do vertical geothermal systems. Yeah. And there's a neighborhood somewhere in Georgia, I can't remember where, and I'm sure there's others, but they have a geothermal system that's centrally located, and then the heating and cooling gets fed to all the houses in the neighborhood.
I love that.
It's so boss, I can't even stand it. But so just to put a bow tie on it, look, if you want to get into the HVAC trade, there's all kinds of opportunities. There's residential service, new construction, there's commercial, there's industrial refrigerant. The opportunities are endless. All you need to do is call a company, tell them you want to learn the trade, show up, and
on
work
time.
hard every day.
Be on time. Be on time. Be on time. That's so important. But again, 3 things to take away from this: show up on time and focus on getting a little bit better every single day. And the opportunities within the trades industry will just literally unravel in front of you if you're willing to do those 3 things. Show up on time every day, and you will be a millionaire in the trades industry if you simply choose to be.
And the last thing I want to say, speaking to all the realtors out there, realtors. Anyway, to all the realtors out there, I can't help it. It makes me sad, but happy at the same time. Anyway, you all know, if you do what Ryan and I do, if you're a real estate agent, you know how hard it is to find tradespeople right now to come and service your clients.
Hard. So hard.
Now, Mike, and I mentioned Warren Mechanical. Mike does a great job of taking care of my people. We were going to have him on. He was so freaking busy he couldn't stop and pick up his phone and zoom in for a minute. That's how much demand there is in this trade. So we'll put some links in the show notes for people that want to look into more opportunities. I've got some. I started seeing on my computer at home, but it's right here. While I'm thinking of it, why does Jason keep doing that? There he is.
It's having fun with you.
Don't forget to, how do you say it? Smash the subscribe button?
Smash. That's the word.
So don't forget to hit that. Don't forget to like the page. If you have questions, comments, whatever, we'd love to hear from you. And as always, for Blue Collar Real Estate, I'm Greg Mayo.
And I'm Brian Hurriott. We appreciate everybody's time today. Hopefully you took something away from this, and we want to, again, encourage you, jump into something you've not learned about, because there is ample opportunity on the other side of that. Thanks so much, everybody.
Have a great weekend.